was just pathetic. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Hot Stove Media and Jerry Cap in this afternoon's first game of the doubleheader between the Phillies and the New York Mets, as the Phillies lose 8-2 to the Mets, as unfortunately they dropped the first game of the doubleheader, dropped the second game of the four-game series. I never seen a team struggle when there are runners on base as much as this team, especially against the Mets. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on notification bells. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So you have to give the Mets a good amount of credit for they just have a great ability of pitching in the clutch, right? They do a great job with that. And this Phillies team is just incapable of getting a big hit. I mean, they're not capable of it whatsoever. Challenging call where they said that Mets catcher Michael Perez was blocking the plate when he had possession of the baseball, and Bryson Stott didn't even tag the plate. So not only was it a pretty clear call, right? I mean, you're allowed to block the plate. You have possession of the baseball, which Michael Perez did. There was nothing wrong with what he did. So not only that, but then you have Bryson Stott not even touching the plate. So why are you challenging that call? It goes back to it again. I've never seen a team challenge calls that shouldn't be challenged. That shouldn't be challenged. It's maddening. It's maddening to me. And Zach Wheeler going against his former squad once again, and he didn't look very good. So 2 straight starts now. He looked very disappointing. Aaron Noel didn't look good in the first game of this 4-game series last night, and Zach Wheeler looked very good here this afternoon. In the first game's loss. So, incredibly disappointing. Got Trevor Williams only going 4 innings for New York, but the Mets bullpen did a really good job, unfortunately. I'm going to say it again. I mean, we're just not a good team with runners on base, period. But the Mets pitching staff does a wonderful job at pitching in the clutch, and they execute very, very well. So you have to give them credit for that. I mean, they do a very good job in that regard. As we pick up the scoring summary here, in the top of the 5th inning, Michael Perez singles on a line drive to right field. Jeff McNeil and Tyler Naquin come around to score, as it's now 2-0 New York. So the Mets now jump ahead 2-0. Kind of like a Mets home game, ladies and gentlemen. All the Met fans came down from New York and just totally took over Citizens Bank Park. You had the Met line on the second deck in left field, and over on the third base line, it just sounded like a Mets home game. This was just unbelievable. We're just doing nothing offensively. I mean, this Phillies team is like in a coma. Offensively when they play the Mets. They are just so intimidated by this Met team. They are scared to death of these guys. So then we pick it up here in the top of the 6th inning. Francisco Lindor triples on a line drive to right field. Starling Marte comes around to score. It's just now 3-0 Mets. So that was Lindor's 4th triple of the season. A guy that can run pretty well. He's a very athletic guy, as you've seen before. I mean, he's an excellent defender. One of the best shortstops in all of baseball. 100%. No question about that. But the question remains, is he worth $340 million? Some believe he is. Some believe he is not. I certainly believe he's worth a pretty good price. Now, $340 million, I'm not too sure about that. But he's an all-around good player. He still had a very good season, no question about that, to turn it around from the struggled season last year. Still remains to be seen, is he worth $340 million? But at the end of the day, does it really matter even that the Mets won a World Series? With Lindor, it won't really matter if he is or not. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Jeff McNeil singles on a line drive to center field. Francisco Lindor comes around to score, as it's now 4-0 Mets. Jeff McNeil, this is a Met team that puts the ball in play a lot. I talked about it yesterday, and I'll say it again. They actually put the ball in play with run scoring position, unlike this team, which very rarely ever does it. The Phillies don't really ever do that. They really struggle to put the ball in play when there's ducks on the pond. You see it time and time again, and it's something I really wish we got better at. Because, we make a chance for something to happen when you put the baseball in play. Guess what? If you don't put it in play, then there's no chance of something happening. We pick it up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Phillies get on the board as Gene Segura hits a sacrifice fly the other way out to right field. Nick Castellanos comes around to score. And it's now a 4-1 ball game. Kind of ironic. I'm criticizing this team for not getting the job done in run scoring position, not putting the ball in play, and I still firmly believe that. We're just hit by 3 today. Think about that. Here's another example. We got 7 hits today, and the Mets had 10. So we're only hit by 3, but yet we're outscored by 6. So think about that. Gene Segura, that was fundamental baseball, though. I like that. Gene Segura, a guy that puts the ball in play a lot. As I mentioned before, he's a guy that doesn't strike out a ton. So then we pick it up here in the top of the ninth inning. Brandon Nimmo, one of the most underrated players in the game. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of contract he does get this offseason as he doubles on a line drive to left field the other way. His 24th double of the season to score Brett Beatty, and it's now 5-1 New York. So Brandon Nimmo extends the Mets lead, and of course the Mets wouldn't be done. So this is an on-base machine. He's been a very productive player over the last few seasons. There's no doubt about that. Then we pick it up here in the same inning, starting Marte singles on a line drive to center field. Michael Perez comes around to score as it's now 6-1 New York. Starring Marte, a guy that has certainly lived up to the contract that he got this offseason for the Mets, right? An all-star. He's had an excellent season for them. He's been super productive. A guy that I wish the Phillies would have gotten. The Mets certainly paid a good price for this guy, but I think that he's definitely been worth every penny. He's definitely been worth every single penny. But boy, I mean, that contract is certainly, a good one for him. I mean, I think that's a win-win for both sides, right? I mean, I think that they're getting the money out of him. He's been very, very productive. Now we pick it up here in the same innings of fundamental baseball from the former Phil, Darren Ruff. As he hits a second place fly out to right field the other way, Brandon Nimmo comes around to score. This is now 7-1 Mets. So it's hard to believe that Darren Ruff is 36 years of age. Think about that. So he made his major league debut in 2012 with the Phillies 10 years ago at the age of 26 years old, which is, pretty old to make your major league debut, I'll be honest with you. Let me pick it up here in the same inning. Jeff McNeil tacks on another one as he singles on a line drive to center field. Francisco Lindor comes around to score. This is now 8-1 New York. So at this point of the ball game, I mean, you already knew it was over going in. It already, in the words of Jack Fritz, friend of the pod, feels like a loss. No question about that. But simply because we just weren't showing any fight offensively. You already knew this ball game is over. Now just really put the nail in the coffin off of Derek Hall. We brought in Derek Hall to replace Nick Nelson. Just goes to show you, Rob Thompson had no confidence in this Phillies team. Neither did I. We pick it up here in the bottom ninth inning. Emmanuel Sosa reaches on an infield single. Garrett Stubbs comes around to score. As it's now an 8-2 ball game. So the Phillies get a little bit closer. More Sanchez didn't really feel that one too well. As Sosa was able to move up to second while Matt Fielding moved up to third. So there you go right there. Here's another example. Second and third, we couldn't get anything after that. So that was pretty much the theme of today, and that's pretty much been the theme of us playing the Mets here in 2022. A failure to get the job done was when there's runners on base. So that would be your final 8-2 Mets. Win the second game of this 4-game series. Win the first game of the doubleheader. Kyle Schwarber out of the leadoff spot. A rough Phillies performance for him. A 210 average now for him on the season. The Met terrorizer just wasn't really there this afternoon. The first game of doubleheader. Rhys Hoskins, guy that's just been really struggling. 248 after this ball game. They're going along with an 825 OPS. I mean, he has just been awful against the Mets this season. He's not the only Phil that's been awful against the Mets this season. I can tell you that. A lot of them have been. And Alec Bohm one knock this afternoon as well. And he's just been kind of collecting a lot of one-hit games, I'll be honest with you. Not to sound like harsh. And Nick Castellanos, Mr. Singles hitter. 2 singles here this afternoon. Also scoring one of the Phil's 2 runs on a Gene Segura sacrifice fly. So we're paying this guy $20 million a year to hit singles. When is this guy going to hit the ball at the ballpark? I'm tired of it. I'm just so tired of it. And Bryson Stott one knock this afternoon as well, also drawing a walk. He continues to be very, very productive. He's just been so productive since the All-Star break. He has just been so good since the All-Star break. OPS still sits at 622, so I'm hoping he can get that, quite a bit higher. But at 222 average, when this guy is, sitting as low as he was, it's very impressive that he was able to get this, this high up. So hopefully it just keeps getting higher and higher. And Gene Segura, I think in the first run of the ballgame for the Phillies on second place, fly out to right field, also collecting a single as well. And Garrett Stubbs gets to start behind home plate as JT Muto got the day off in the first game, as he also collects a knock as well, also draws a walk. And Matt Vierling gets to start out and left and then would move to center. He also goes hitless as well. He's just not been productive at all. He also drew a walk. And Bradley Zimmer, he had a great catch last night. Forgot to talk about it. He gets to start on center. Eventually was taken out of the ball game as he also went hitless as well. And Emmanuel Sosa reaching on the infield single. So he was not credited with an RBI since that was a fielding error by Sanchez. As Buck Showalter certainly had a good amount of confidence in his ball club that they were going to win. As he took out Lindor, he took out Daniel Vogelback to put in Darren Ruff. So he certainly had a good amount of confidence that his team was going to win. And there's no question about that. I can't say I blame him. And Zach Wheeler, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Now, of course, this is a Met team that likes to see the baseball and is great at drawing walks. They're very good at executing while at the plate. But Zach Wheeler hasn't looked comfortable. The last few starts. And, I feel like his fastball, the velo, hasn't been there as much. He's still sitting in the high 90s, but he just doesn't, he seems like he's going out there, he doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in himself. There's just something missing with Zach Wheeler right now, and I'm hoping he could kind of regroup. This certainly was better than his last start against the Mets last Sunday, but it still wasn't very good. As he does get the loss, his second straight loss against his Met team, second straight loss, in consecutive starts, 11-7 now in the year, 3.07 ERA now for Zach Wheeler. His last 7 starts, Zach Wheeler has recorded a 4.40 ERA. So he's certainly been disappointing since the All-Star break. Remember that start before the All-Star break, he really struggled, and honestly, since then, he has not been good. I've been very disappointed with him coming down the stretch, and I think that's been kind of the biggest thing. Granted, he was fantastic last season, of course, a Cy Young finalist, but coming down the stretch, late August to September, of time of year we're starting to get to now, he started to get very fatigued. And we're already starting to see that. So we got Aaron Nola, who is not a big game pitcher, and then you got Zach Wheeler, who's really starting to look tired. So that's certainly not a good sign. I'm certainly not happy about that. Connor Brogdon, inning in 2/3, 2 hits, didn't allow any runs, and also struck out 1 as well. A 1.63 ERA for Brogdon. He continues to just be so good. Brad Hand, of course, he's just going to come in there and do his job. He's done a fantastic job this year, very quietly. A 2.02 ERA for Brad Hand. No one is talking about this guy. It's honestly annoying me that no one is talking about Brad Hand, about how good he has been. Nick Nelson, a guy who really struggled, 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned, 2 walks, a 4.80 ERA. That's another thing. Rob Thompson, he knew that he didn't have confidence in this offense. He put Nick Nelson in there in the time of night inning simply because of the fact that he did not think the Phillies would win this ball game. You're only down by 3 runs, and your manager doesn't have confidence in this team. Think about that, and I can't blame him. I don't either. I just don't. We are like a zombie going against this Mets team. Derek Hall, a third of an inning, as he allows the single to Jeff McNeil. He is not charged with a run since that was charged to Nick Nelson. Derek Hall was able to get out of it after that. So that would be your ball game. So the second game is currently going on right now. I had to help my family move all day. I apologize about that. I woke up, I helped my family pack, I went to the game, and then I went right back to what I was doing before. So I've been very, very busy today. So as I said, the second game is going on. So by the time this video gets out, the second game will probably most likely be close to ending at least. Right now it's in the top of the 7th inning. I don't want to talk about what's been going on, but hopefully the Phillies bullpen can finish the job, right? As we could maybe just limp away from the series with just one measly win. So who knows if we're even going to win tomorrow. So, final thoughts. Zach Wheeler, I'm a little concerned about him. You talk about, giving a guy extra rest. You give Noah Syndergaard a cushy day off today. You overworked this bullpen. So let's give Zach Wheeler, let's skip one of his starts. I think he needs it. Something's off with him, and he just doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of confidence going out there. So I think maybe you need to consider skipping one of Zach Wheeler's starts. Met fans are coming down from New York, and I can't say that I blame them, and I can't say that it's something the Phillies fans wouldn't do. During the heydays of 07 through 2011, the Phillies fans were bombarding Nationals Park down in Washington D.C. That's why I got the nickname CBP South. Simply because the Phillies fans are coming down there and just bombarding Nationals Park. That is pretty much it. I'll see you guys for the second game recap. That started at 7:15 as Bailey Falter got the start going against David Peterson. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't done yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media, link in the description section, at Phillies Hot Stove Media, Instagram, follow me on Twitter, at Beyond Stove Media. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, PhilliesHotStoveMedia@gmail.com. This will be my new setup down here for the next 2 months. The sound quality sounds really good. Of course, this is in a basement. You got the poster board back there. I think that looks really good. And then you also got the carpet, which really insulates the sound. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. I'll see you guys.